What's up, guys? Chipotlebear here. A while ago on episode 86, we had a fan write in, xburk550, who said, "Hey guys, I'd love it if you did a video on some of those cool collectibles that are behind you when we record." So let's talk about that today. What's behind my setup? A lot of these are things from childhood, but of course, some things from adulthood. We'll also see a brief look of what my studio looks like day to day, because my family lives here and it is my house, as well as when I record for the podcast and when I stream. Let's get right into it.
First off, there's a section above me when I record that rarely shows up on screen. This includes a Halo Energy Sword lamp, a HomePod for music, and my Xbox Series X mini fridge. You'll also notice a 25th anniversary poster for Pokemon, as I'm a huge fan of the series and have really enjoyed sharing that love with my daughters. There are also 2 custom pieces of art that my wife commissioned for me for Christmas that feature our family in the style of The Simpsons and South Park. She actually had a new one commissioned this year in the style of Tim Burton, but this image currently resides in her living room. My family is incredibly into all things spooky and Halloween, which brings us to the final piece in this section, a Creator Series Lego Haunted House. This set contains over 3,200 pieces, and it took my daughter Penelope and I a couple of weeks to put together. It was a really awesome experience, and I love looking at this set year-round. Next up, the section that you can see behind me when we record. Starting on the way left, we have 2 of the NECA Universal Monsters and Ninja Turtle collaborations, Raphael as Frankenstein and Leonardo as the Hunchback. The other 2 turtles are eventually coming as well. I can't wait to have the whole squad on a shelf. Next up, we have the relatively new Jazzawares Deluxe Master Chief helmet. This thing is wearable and features lights and authentic sounds. I was so stoked to add it to the collection this year. Next to that, we have a few smaller figures. 2 are original 1998 Toy Biz Resident Evil 2 zombie figures, and 1 is a Moreland figure that I purchased with Penelope as she's gotten super into Spider-Man. There are also 2 Mario Happy Meal toys, care of my daughters of course, and then a massive custom Bowser Lego that was actually made as a gift from a friend and former teacher at my school. Finally, in the back is an Umbrella Corporation light that my parents gave me for Christmas. And next to that, we have a Court of Owls mask from the Batman graphic novel of the same name. I picked this up recently in honor of the release of Gotham Knights, and I'm planning on building a much more permanent stand for it this summer. On the next row down, the furthest cube holds a couple of books in our family domino set, as well as my Sony WH-1000XM4 headphones, which I use for recording and travel. Next to that is a Series S controller that I'm saving for a future project, as well as my custom XR teacup, care of the assistant to the assistant Bubble Boy N7 from Christmas. And behind that is a photo of the fam from our holiday photo shoot, a daily reminder that all of this is really for them. Besides that are a couple smaller items, like a T800 head from a loot crate a long time ago, a Broncos mini helmet from childhood, and some mini Game Boy cards from when I was very young, as it was one of my first systems. There's also a Symbiote Spider-Man, another purchase I made with Penelope, as well as a Buddha Homer Simpson and Treehouse of Horror Maggie, which are both Kid Robot toys, which I got from our last visit to Universal Studios. You'll also notice a pin from a Niantic Community Day that my wife and I attended on accident when we visited New Orleans, and my Tiefling figure from when I played D&D back in the day. In the final box in this section, you can find 2 LEGO Star Wars helmet sets, 1 for Boba Fett and 1 for the Mandalorian. You can also see a blockhead set for the Mandalorian and Grogu. All of these kits were gifts from my wife and daughters. What can I say? They know me. Below all of this, the last 2 rows of shelves hold a good chunk of our board game collection. My wife and I are actually really into board games, and we love spending an evening playing. If you're curious about any of the ones you see or have suggestions, please let me know in the comments below. Always love learning about new board games.
All right, guys, thank you for joining me here, learning a little bit about all the cool stuff behind me when we record the show. I know we didn't get too deep into my actual setup for each of those scenarios when we're streaming and recording, that kind of thing. If you'd like another video on that, if you'd like to see what it looks like when we're running OBS, what it looks like when we're streaming games and, of course, recording, let us know. We'd be happy to make that for you as well. Otherwise, thanks for joining us here on the Nerd Chat, and, of course, we'll see you online.